in terms of the past 7 days, not the start of this week, let's dive right in. Like how much money have you made in the past 7 days?
Well, it's about $1,100 altogether, so it's around about there.
Unbelievable. How does that feel to have made that after a lot of work that you've put in?
Well, when I think about it, because I don't usually think about it, it feels good. If I convert it to South African, it's like, and think about what I used to make, then it's just crazy to think about that was just in 7 days. And I needed to do
Mm,
that for 5 months just to get the same amount.
crazy. Because me and Shiraz were talking just before we jumped on, and how much did you used to make per month?
So back before I used to work on cruise ships, it was about $260. That's without personal training or anything like that. Just base.
Crazy. That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. So you've made 4 months' wage. You've made four of your old month's wage, pretty much,
Yeah,
which is
well,
pretty
yeah, that,
nuts.
yeah, but that was a couple of years ago. So
Yeah,
compare, but I'm doing it from home, so that's the difference.
yeah, and true. And you worked on the cruise ship, and let's get into that now then. So obviously we've been working together now for 3 or 4 months, roughly 4 months, is it? Something like that, I think.
I think it's 4 months now. Since
Yeah,
end of July, I started coming to the calls, but I joined you
yeah,
June. Yeah.
yeah. I remember. Okay, and let's just give an intro of yourself. Like, where are you from? What were you doing before we jumped in together? And yeah, just a bit of background on yourself.
So I'm from South Africa. I started to work. I was working in cruise ships for the last, we'll say 3 years, 3 years now. Not sure of numbers anymore. But there I was working as a fitness instructor for the previous 2 years, which was based in sales, but not the ordinary just personal training stuff, sales, detox, all these type of stuff. Then 1 year ago, I joined a new cruise ship where I was the fitness manager. And during that time, I became very comfortable with what I was doing. Wasn't doing sales, but I was still going along the days. But that's when I decided this is becoming too tedious, the same things every day. Waking up in the morning, having to do classes. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it, but it just became this is not the life I wanted. I was traveling the world, but I would rather do that with my family and people I care about rather than some random people.
Mm. And do you think that was like the big? Because I remember when we first spoke. I remember our first call very well. And do you think it was the fact that the lack of time you were spending with your family? Do you think that was like the main reason why you decided to go for it?
It was one of the reasons because I know my family has always wanted to go overseas and see the world. And every day I'm sending them pictures, it just felt like I'd rather have them here, especially my parents, so they could actually see what this is all about. Because
Mm.
they're the ones that actually got me to a point where I got to see the world, see what's happening, but now I want to give back to them.
100%, bro. I think that's a motivation that I have, and I know a lot of people have as well. So that's good to hear. And how did you? Obviously, you're working in sales, well, a type of sales, cruise ship sales. Um, and how have you found that then transitioning into remote high ticket closing? Like, how did you find that transition? Because I feel people will be interested.
No, so it wasn't because I did those sales a couple of years ago. There was now today, the other day, I was just thinking about it, and the stuff I was using there, I could use into the sales I use now. Because it's not like corporate sales, it was more face to face, meaning I'm still having the conversations, talking with the people. So I found the transition quite easy, but in a way now I had more structure behind just trying to sell something.
Mm, yeah, and that's another thing. Like we were just talking about it. Like, I think the biggest, obviously, you've worked fucking hard. Like, bro, you've worked so hard. Like a lot of people wouldn't have put in the work that you have. So that's one thing for sure. But also, now that you're closing and you're bringing in some deals, like you were just saying to me, the fact that you just have normal conversations with people and you just treat it as if you're speaking to a friend. Like, do you feel like that's one of the reasons why you've managed to start getting some really good results?
Yes, especially on the fitness, because I'm working a fitness offer. I found it easier because I was doing fitness before. So I can be more relatable to the people I'm talking to. And I got a better understanding. I didn't understand back then when I was doing it. It's the way you come off as a person. Because many closers I see, they're very, in a way, aggressive. So being more
Mm.
calm, more demeanor, it worked for me, especially on this offer. I'm not sure about others yet, but at the moment this is working.
100%, bro. I think that's very similar to me. Well, that would make sense because I've
Mm.
coached you, but like I'm not like that at all, as you know. It's very much not butting heads with people, but having like a proper conversation and really trying to help
Mm.
them out. And a lot of people would be really interested to know. People always ask me, like, "Oh, what do you sell in high ticket sales?" So, what is it specifically? What's the offer that you're selling at the moment? Because I think it's pretty interesting.
So right now, because it's a fitness offer, we're selling mobility training because in a way people don't understand that mobility is where you actually get the strength from. When you're getting older, you just feel like you're collapsing and you think you need to do more stretching. It's more like internal strength that's holding you back. So this offer actually helps people, helps every age group, people that are trying to win marathons to people that can't even get out of bed without pain. So that's where
Mm.
it's a good thing. You're actually helping people.
Exactly. And in terms of like the coaching, obviously it's been a few months now. We've been working together. You've been working, more of the lads have joined. You've been doing practice with all the boys as well. Like, how have you found the community? How have you found the coaching so far?
Well, when I came, there was about what four people that I would see all the time. There was a Yusuf, Rory. We all knew who Rory was because he was the first guy to make 5K. And we're hopping
Yeah.
on the first call. It felt like we were just talking to celebrities. They've all made this type of. I'm sure some of the people feel like that now when they come on. But
Yeah.
and then as time went on, there was more people coming and coming, which was good. It made the community grow. There's more personal, and things just started to click. But I still remember the first time I actually hopped on a coaching call. I was like more nervous to be on the call. Like,
100%.
is he gonna pick me? Must I say something? What's gonna happen? I don't know.
100%, mate. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people. I know I used to feel that same way when I used to jump on training calls as well. And it's funny you say like celebrities because
Yeah.
it's literally. I think it's so true. I think everyone
Yeah.
feels that way, especially when you watch these guys and you're like, oh, what's their progress like? And then you finally like actually jump on the calls with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like how in terms of that, like all the boys in the community, like, do you feel like that's helped you like push on even further?
Not for sure, because everyone in the communities there has the same goal as yours. They might have different whys they're doing it, but the main goal is obviously to make money and to make money in a quicker way. And when I
Mm,
first started, like the people that were there, they were always helpful, especially Yusuf, because he always anyone down for role play, like within 5 seconds is someone replying. But now, obviously, as time went on, the boys got more busy, and like I see everyone now hopping on calls, hopping on offers. It's obviously a bit quieter in terms of experienced guys, but the thing is, if any of the new guys ever ask for any help, any assistance, guys that have been here for some time, they'll help no matter what. They'll take time out of their answer, see where they can help. Like Jed, who was one of your first guys, till this day, he helped me get through a lot in terms of where to go from where to be. And I remember when I first did training call with him, it's the first time I did it scriptless. And it didn't feel like I was talking to someone that's egotistical, that's been here, knows everything. They made you feel like, oh, do you see where you went wrong? Make you figure out what you did wrong. So they use results based thinking on you when you know what it is already.
yeah.
So it's a great community to be a part of.
100%, bro. I think that's one of the biggest things. One of the things I'm most proud of is the boys and that everyone's always there to lend a hand. Anyone will jump on a call with anyone if they need the help. Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things about it. And in terms of like the actual coaching, in terms
Yeah.
of the group calls, obviously being coached by me, like how have you found that?
Well, it's amazing, especially when I first started, I didn't know what was happening, and you would just sit in a couple of times, get an understanding. But the way you made it feel like there's no wrong or right. Like if someone knew when I first came on, I didn't know what to say, and I notice now when the new guys come on, they don't know what to say, but you give them the confidence just to give it a try, give it a go.
Mm,
If you make mistakes, it's fine, and that's why you're there as a coach to direct us in the right way, rather than us trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. You show us the way that this work. Obviously, you can change it the way it suits your personality, but it feels like you're always there to help hang hand. you're going wrong somewhere, he give you guidance just so you don't repeat it over and over. And because he has coaching like basically every day, you get better all the time. And now with the different types of coachings you had for the advanced, the beginners, it just gave us more time to actually advance the skills. And everyone, no one sits in the call and does nothing. We're all proactive, learn something, and actually get things done.
100%, bro. I think that's the biggest thing. You just have to throw yourself in the deep end.
Mm.
Like you said, you're going to be a bit nervous, you're going to make errors, you're going to make mistakes, but that's the only way. That's the only way you're going to get good is by being shit.
Yeah,
And I think it's just accepting that.
yeah, no, because I remember when Gustavo first came on, that first day he gave it a go. And I was like, oh shit, I've been here for like a couple of weeks, and then there's this guy. He just comes first day, and he's just doing this. So then that motivation of seeing people get better, for some people, it will make them in a way, was it sad or depressed that they're not getting results. But for me, in a way, it pushed me to come, let's get out of this, stop staying the same, let's improve. That's the nice thing about community. The motivation just compounds day after day.
100%. And I think that's the thing as well, because you can look at people ahead of you. And I say this to all the boys, it's like, you can look at the Jeds, the Rorys, the Yusufs, even people will look at you now and they'll be
Mm.
like, oh, Shiraz is a few months ahead of me. If I just keep putting in the work and I keep grafting, then
Yeah.
I will just be in their position in times to come. And like, bro, like the fact that, English, when we first started, like English it's not even your first language, right? And you still come in and absolutely smash it and you're on and off it. You made zero excuses. It would have been so easy to make excuses and, say, oh no, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do it. And you haven't. And now you're reaping the rewards, which is it's really, really cool to see. So what's the goals now? Where do we want to get to next few months? Something we can look back on. Like what's the goals for the end of the year and going into 2026?
Well, most people, because I'm not like most people, my motivation is kind of different from other people. Some people, when they get to coaches, they make you find a goal, what's going to push you, and you don't just hop on calls for the money. Obviously, that's what they would say, do it for the conversation, but my thought is always to make more money. And if I wanted to have conversations and make lots of friends, I would have stayed in my previous job. I came to make money, and my goal was always to at least make 5K for a month. I'm working towards it now, and hopefully by the end of the year, I'm making at least 5K for that month. And then
100%.
obviously from next year, start to increase it depending on which offer I'm on, what's working, what's not working.
Yeah, bro. Well, mate, I mean, you're pretty much on track. If you keep up what you've done the past week, you'll be on track to make it. So, well, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, but still, you're getting there, which is the main thing. Finally, if someone was, I don't know, maybe watching this video of you, like you were watching of
Mm.
Rory, and then maybe thinking, maybe I'm not super fulfilled with what I'm doing. I've been looking into this sales thing, like it seems really interesting, but I'm not too sure. Like, what advice would you give? Do you think?
Well, the advice I'd give them is the advice I took for myself. Because I remember when I first seen your video, it was you were in Bali all the time. I forgot what the name of the video was, but something about something, and it's like I can't be living this life, or I wish I could remember the name of it, but I
Mm,
seen it. Just if you see a video like that, just watch it because you never know what's gonna happen. And once I did talk to you, because you were open, have a chat, I was still nervous that time. Like, was this the right time? Is this the right thing to do? I'm comfortable where I am, but you need to take that first tough initial step to actually try it because the results are there and the community is just growing. And the more you actually put effort into something, you're gonna see the results. There's days where you feel like you don't want to do anything, but those are the days where honestly lay around, but then get back up because you're not gonna learn by just doing nothing. And that next tough step, it's gonna be hard, the first few steps, but once it keeps going and going, once you reach close to the top, things just become easier. And then you're gonna look back 8 weeks from now or a month, like Rory did in a month. You never know. Some people are different. You might get it instantly. Some people might take longer, like I did, but you will still get the
mm.
results. if you put the effort in, you will get the results.